Hello, my name is Anthony Davis, and we're doing an up-close and personal interview with Kevin Fredericks, aka KevOnStage.
KevOnStage.
He is the creator of Cartoon Scandal. He is a part of the Playmakers, the world-renowned Playmakers, and he also is a writer for Awesomeness TV, which is on Nickelodeon. And so today we're going to talk about a brand new project that he has today that's streaming now. It's called Fatherhood. So, Kevin, what made you start this project?
Well, Fatherhood, actually, this is like the third time I tried to do a web series. I did The Stay-at-Home Dad When I Got Fired, you remember that, which we shot all with my iPod Touch. And then I did Fatherhood a couple years ago with Zay Zay and JoJo. And really what made me really start doing it this time, you know, Zay Zay was auditioning for stuff, and, you know, like he auditioned for something with Will Ferrell in it, and it was just inappropriate for kids, you know. Like, it was funny, but not, right, you know, for Zay Zay. He was like, Dad, I can't say this. And I was like, so we didn't even audition. I was like, dude, even if he gets this, you know, they were like, well, this could be so much money. I'm like, dude, but this is, I don't want my, you know.
It's not his character.
No, it's not his character, and he didn't want to do it, you know. So then he auditioned for some other stuff, you know, regular Hollywood stuff. And the stuff was funny, but it wasn't like, it couldn't be, you know, I couldn't write it.
Right.
You know, and then there's shows like, I miss shows like Different World, and The Cosby Show, and Living Single, and Martin. You know, we grew up, there was that stuff on TV. Like, we joke a lot, but a lot of us wanted to go to college because Hillman College in A Different World, you know, like, so TV had a powerful influence over people, and I just wanted to bring back, you know, that good black, you know, family stuff, clean content, you know, with, you know, of a black family that's not like Love and Hip Hop and Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, that stuff has its place, you know what I mean? But we also have to have balance with other stuff that's, you know, not, you know, pulling hair and fighting. You know, we want to get good black stuff back on television.
All right, that's good. So give us your log line for the Fatherhood. Like, what is it about?
Fatherhood is basically the stuff that happens in the family on TV. You know, like, there's little stuff, you have kids, you know, like, some of the stuff they say is funny, you know. Right. Kids, if you're going bald, they're gonna be like, you're bald. Yeah. I'm fat at the moment, my kids touch my belly and say, you need to work on that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that stuff's funny. And then just as raising kids, like, there's stuff that goes through our minds as parents that is hilarious. You know, you go through kids walking in on you when you're making sweet love, you know, kids asking questions about church and God, and coming from them, it's really funny. So I wanted to look at the world through the eyes of a father. Like, it's usually not through the eyes of a father, especially not a black father.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's either the kid's point of view or the mom or whatever. But a black dad who's at home raising his own kids, what's that life like? Because I know it's, you know, very similar around the world.
Right. So what do you want people to see about your family that's different from other families?
You can have God in your life and still have fun. That's an important thing. When I was young, I just felt like you couldn't be a Christian and have fun. You know what I mean? You can have a good time and be saved. You can have a good time without, you know, cussing and fussing. You know, like, you can be a family that's well-rounded and balanced. You know what I mean? You go to church, but you also go to Universal Studios. You know what I mean? You have a good time and enjoy life, and that's, you know, and life is funny. You know what I mean? The stuff that happens when you're raising kids is hilarious. You know, we share it on social media. I just wanted to put it on, you know, TV and video on demand and YouTube and everywhere else, so you can see it all over the place.
Okay, so are you holding anything back with this, or is it a lot of stuff you just created, like, you thought it was funny, let me create this, or is this real life stuff that happens with the Fredericks?
These stories are all based on real life. I do embellish some and I do hold some back. Like, for example, you know, my kids really did walk in on me one time, you know, but I'm not gonna show that, right? You know what I mean? But I can give you enough to where you get the idea, but you don't have to worry about, oh, here come, you know, like, we watch shows on HBO and you can't watch them with your kids because you know what's coming, you know, but you'll never see this, just like a sitcom. You know, you get the idea, you know, but it's based on a true story, but it's embellished a little bit. But some of the stuff is exactly as it happened, just reenacted.
Right,
you know,
real life stuff.
Real life stuff that's happened to me. Like, what happens is life happens, I pull out my phone, man, that'll make a hilarious episode. Right. Write the notes down, and then later on I'll write the episode.
And what you forget too is relatable. It's relatable to everybody else. When they say, oh, that happened to me too.
And that it's relatable outside of being black.
Right.
We happen to be black, but that doesn't mean that it won't, you know, appeal to a white family, an Asian family. If you are raising kids, it appeals to you. If you are a kid, you can see yourself in it outside of color, but there are some things that are going to be specific to our family life, which happens to be black and Christian, but most of the stuff is universal.
Right. Are you going to have any additional cast members, or just going to be the Fredericks?
The main cast is me, my wife, my sons, Zay Zay and JoJo. There's some cameos by Anthony Davis. I don't know if you've heard of him. You know, that's really it. Actually, I think you are the only cameo, and your stepson Mikey and and JJ. They're the only ones that are in it that aren't fatherhood. Now season 3, I want to expand it more, but you know, shooting it yourself, it's very difficult to do a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So for this season, I had to keep it really contained. But as it grows, I want to be able to do bigger, you know, stuff about school and, you know, church and all that other stuff that's also part of our life.
What is the best part about filming with your family?
You know, it's the bloopers that come out because my kids are funny. Like my wife is really funny, JoJo's funny, Zay's funny, and we laugh while we're on set. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, action, ah, you know what I mean? And we're not professional actors that are like studying our lines and stuff. We're having a good time and recording it. You know what I mean? There's not a whole bunch of takes, because a lot of times the kids want to play video games and stuff, and I know my wife is like, hey, I'm not trying to do this all day or whatever. So, but just like doing something you love to do with the people you love is really fun.
What are you trying to gain with fatherhood? Are you trying to send a message to black fathers? Is it just only to black fathers? Is it to all families? What type of message are you trying to share?
You know, I don't necessarily feel like I'm saying, hey, black fathers, this is what you can do. You know, I don't feel like I'm this super father, you know? You're a great father, Jay's a great father. The people that I'm friends with also take care of their kids. So I don't feel unusual, you know, unusually great. I just really wanted to show the world that raising a family can be funny. You know what I mean? The funny little nuances of raising a family.
So your kids have had access more to the camera than the average kid. What do you think is the toughest thing about filming with your kids?
You know, one of the things that makes it really easy is they have shot a lot of videos in their life. You know, the last 2 years, a lot of YouTube videos. You know, they don't really shoot long days, 8-hour days, and they definitely don't do that for fatherhood. So the toughest part is probably doing it, and you know, they really want to play video games. You know what I mean? Like if, for instance, when the video, we shot a scene where JoJo's playing Flappy Bird. And once we start shooting, he wants to just really play Flappy Bird. He's not necessarily, you know what I mean? So like, okay, Joe, we're gonna shoot this, then we'll go on, you can play Flappy Bird. That's really the hardest part, is when they wanna watch, if they, you know, if we're on set and they have to do something they really like to do, having to stop that to move on, you know? But other than that, I mean, they're great kids. We don't do a lot of takes because I don't want them to be like burnt out. They already do this a lot. I try to shoot this, like, most of these episodes only take a couple hours to shoot, and most of that is not, you know, the boys.
So a lot of people know that you moved from Tacoma, Washington to California. How has your family life changed since being here?
Well, we get to go outside a lot more. You know, it doesn't rain as much. But I mean, really, we were a close-knit family in Washington. We're a close-knit family here. You know, we probably got closer here because in Washington we had a lot of friends and family. You know, we could go to, you know, my sister's house or Jay's house or your mom's house, or, you know, we had all these friends. But here we don't have as many friends, so we do pretty much everything together. So I think that move has really got us much closer because we're pretty much, we all we got out here in these LA streets.
That's
you
true.
know?
So the question I was gonna ask is, you give so much of your life on social media. They see everything day to day, what KevOnStage goes through. Is there any part of your life where you feel like I need to give restriction to this, like privacy?
You know, my dad actually talked to, my wife has been telling me like, yeah, you don't need to put everything on social media. My dad talked to me about it. So actually that's been one of the things I've been working on a lot in the last 6 weeks, 2 months. It's just like, and my dad wasn't like, you know, not you don't have to have secrets, but even stuff like you're going to the movies, everybody doesn't have to know everything you do every time you go, just so, you know, your whole life is already out there. People feel like they know you, but they don't have to know every single thing. So that's been one of my goals, is just to pull back a little. I'm really transparent as a person, so that, you know, that bleeds on the social media, but I am trying to come back a little bit.
Are there already plans for season 3, right? Is it season 3, right?
Yeah, I've already have episode ideas for season 3 ready to go. You know what I mean? I have some other projects that I want to do first. You know, Zay, there's a movie that I'm working on for him, Growing Up Black, and that was based off of his YouTube videos that had success, and I think that's a funny story that we can tell, you know. But there's definitely going to be a season 3. When? I don't know. It depends on the reaction. Like, that's the one thing I don't know. I've never had anything for sale before. Everything's been YouTube. You know, this is the first thing I've ever done that is for sale first. So, you know as well as anybody else, Hollywood wants to know what will sell. You know, they'll produce something if they know it will sell, and I can produce a lot on my own. Like, my plan is to produce stuff on my own, but for that to happen, things have to sell. And if they sell, then I can use that money to pay for the next thing and keep giving these people content, because it's hard to do the big dreams that I have because I can't edit like a professional editor. I can't, you know, hold sound mics. I can't, you know what I mean? I can do what I can do, but I can't do it to the level that Hollywood does. So for that stuff, you need money. And that's really the only reason I'm selling these, is because I want to raise money for the other projects. Hopefully this will pay for the next 2 projects. The next 2 projects will pay for the next 4.
Right.
And then I don't have to ask anybody for money, because when you have to ask for money, you have to, when people are paying for it, then they decide. They have more of a say-so. That makes sense. But if you are doing it, you can put, and I want to put clean content out. You know what I mean? If they pay, we need a little bit dirtier from more. No, I don't want it to make dirty, you know? So, but if you take people's money, you have to listen to them to some extent.
So from a business standpoint, why Vimeo and not YouTube?
You know, that I really struggle with that, because everything I've done up until this point has been free right away. But like I was saying, you know, I need to, the only reason it's for sale is because I want to raise money to do the next projects. You know what I mean? We want to shoot movies, and as much as we're likable in LA, people they pay their bills by their craft. The sound man will be as nice to you as possible, but he still has a day rate. An editor has a day rate. An actor, location fees, that stuff I can't, you know, use it. Hey man, we're boys, you know, we are boys, but this is how I pay my family. The same way when people ask me to do stand-up comedy, I'd love to do it for free, but this is how I feed my family. So Vimeo offers the ability to earn money for it, and I can use that money to fund my next project. And you know, that way I can do what I want to do. I can shoot, and that's what people want to see, clean family content. And I have to be able to make money from a YouTube. The amount of money you make on YouTube won't be enough to fund projects. You know what I mean? You could make hundreds of dollars on YouTube. In order to do these, you need, you know, budgets, you know, on the low end to do a web series is $50,000, you know, so I'm scrounging by trying to do it for 5 or 10. So I've got to, you know, make money, or enough to attract investors that won't make me change it. You know what I mean? Because if you want it, they want creative control. Some investors don't care. They'll pay whatever. As long as you make my money back, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Right. But you also have to show them that if you give me your money, I'll be able to make you back your money and more.
Well, this has been a great up close and personal with KevOnStage, Kevin Fredericks, and you can check out his brand new series on fatherhood, streaming right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
What's up, everybody? It's KevOnStage. Go subscribe to my YouTube page. Don't you be bitter. Just follow me on Twitter. What's up, everybody? It's KevOnStage. Go subscribe to